Okay, so in today's video I have got part 32 of my 365 days of art challenge, so if you want to see what we do this week then keep on watching. Okay, so I started off this week with this sort of, I guess, painting one. To be fair, you can kind of do this however you want with any sort of materials or medium that you would want to use, but I decided to use my watercolors, and then I also used my zebra fine liners a tiny bit, but basically this was another color one, so basically just filling the page with things that are yellow. So obviously, as you can see, I painted a little sun in the bottom, and then I decided to do a moon a little bit more like central to the page, but then realized that I actually probably needed a little bit of a reference for it, because no matter what I did, it just didn't really look like a moon. But I finally got to this shape and decided that I was semi happy with it. So yeah, I just kind of went with that. And I do actually think that it might be because 9 times out of 10 I feel like a moon in that shape is actually the other way around, like it faces, you know, like the big part of it is on the left, and that basically obviously flipped to what I did. And yeah, I don't know if that's why it ended up looking so weird, but yeah, once everything else was around it, I kind of grew to like it a little bit more, and I did think I could put some details in with sort of like a black liner or something like that, but ultimately I just decided to leave it as it was. So obviously, as you can see, I did some little squiggles and then some dots, and then just underneath the dots I actually drew a balloon, and then was just waiting for that to dry to be able to put some little details on. And then obviously to the left we did 3 little stars and then some more dots, and then yeah, obviously you can see here did a little bit of work with the zebra fine liner. And then yeah, obviously as you can see here, adding the details to the balloon, and I did a little bow underneath, and then realized that I probably should have actually put that sort of like on the balloon, you know, like where you tie the balloon, put it there instead. I don't actually know why I put it where I did, but yeah, I did. But I suppose that is sort of the joy of this book. You can kind of experiment and do whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be really neat, it doesn't have to be really good, it doesn't have to look a certain way, it's never going to go on display somewhere, so you can kind of just get away with doing whatever whenever you want. I suppose in theory I could have literally just coloured this entire page in yellow and then closed it and that would have been that. You know, there's no sort of guidelines. You can, relatively speaking, do what you want. Obviously if you're following the guidelines then that's always going to help. So yeah, obviously as long as you're following the prompts that you've been given, then I kind of feel like you can do whatever you want. So yeah, obviously that's what I did for this one, and then you can see here that I just decided to put a little lemon in, I was really struggling to think of more things that were yellow. I feel like the second you do, obviously, like, it's so obvious there are so many different things that are yellow, but the second you start doing something like this, everything just goes out of your head and you just can't think of like anything, and your mind just completely goes blank. And even now, like, thinking about it, I can't really think of many things other than, you know, like, not things that are typically yellow. Obviously I did a yellow balloon, but balloons can be any colour at all, so yeah, I find it really difficult with those ones to actually think of things that are naturally that colour. Obviously a lemon is yellow, so you could do that, and the sun, the moon, they are yellow, so, or typically speaking yellow. So I feel like that's, you know, you can do that and you can use that, but when it comes to things that like just could be yellow, I feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like I need to put it in. I don't know, I don't really know why I'm trying to justify it, because like I literally just said, it doesn't matter. But anyway, moving on to the second one that we did, this one said draw a postcard or paint a postcard for somewhere that you have recently been, or somewhere that you have been. But I have recently just come back from Rhodes in Greece, or I suppose the Greek island of Rhodes is actually the correct way of saying that, I would presume. So yeah, I decided to just sort of draw the beach. We didn't really like stay down on the beach at all, like during the day, like we didn't go down. But we went down one evening for the sunset, which is why I've done it a little bit darker than it probably would be during the day. But I just wanted to not do anything too crazy or too in depth. I just wanted to kind of, you know, make the sort of postcard that you would have painted at school or something like that. So yeah, I did that, and then added a couple birds in the top, and then a couple of boats as well, because we sat there obviously while the sun was setting and we watched some of the boats. But yeah, the sun actually didn't set. It actually didn't set that side, which was really annoying. But it created quite a nice sort of quite a nice colour in the sky as it just sort of got darker. So yeah, unfortunately we didn't have a sunset. We couldn't watch the sunset on the horizon. But yeah, the beach was really nice, and it made quite a nice atmosphere on the beach as well. So yeah, we spent some time on the beach while the sun was setting, and then by the time it was finished we had to try and make our way back virtually in the dark. So yeah, we literally had our phone torches on pretty much the whole way back because we could hardly see where we were going. But yeah, obviously moving on to the third one, which I've actually almost finished. This one said to cut a piece of fruit in half and then draw what you see inside. So I decided to just draw basically not necessarily the strawberry that was there, but the strawberry that was there gave me some inspiration. So I decided to do a strawberry, and then yeah, that I decided to just do one side instead of both. But yeah, I decided to just do a quick sort of watercolour painting of the inside of a strawberry, which just really made me want to eat strawberries, to be fair. But yeah, obviously that was what I did for that one. And then following on from that one, this is probably like the worst one that I have done, but it was one that, to be honest, I didn't really want to do. I just wanted to kind of get it over and done with. So this one said to add to the coral, and you know, either add extra coral or add colourful fish or whatever. But I decided to just freehand some fish, and the one that I just coloured in ended up looking a little bit odd and not necessarily like a fish. But I will leave that up to you to decide what that looks like. And then yeah, the rest of them were okay, but overall like I say, I wasn't really keen on doing this one, and every single time I open the book and plan out the prompts that I'm going to do for the week, I always sort of pass that one and sort of dread doing it. So I decided to just get it over and done with, no matter how good or bad it was going to turn out. I just decided to just do it. So yeah, obviously you've seen I sort of drew out the fish, and then went back in with either my zebra fine liners or watercolour to just add some different patterns and add some different colour. So yeah, they were the fish that I decided to do. And then moving on to the next one, this one basically said to take a look outside and then draw what was out there from memory, basically. So I feel like there was quite a similar one a little while ago, because I know I've definitely done a similar drawing to this. But basically we have a big cherry tree in our back garden, and my room backs onto the back garden. So I drew the big tree, and then some trees in the distance, and the fence and whatever else is basically like a tree, like our tree, and then the fence, and then a big field with more trees in it. So yeah, that was what I drew for that one. And then this one is probably actually quite confusing and you can't actually really see what anything on it is, but I decided to basically just do this one as a rough sketch. So it says on there to draw your favourite part of your home, and I was kind of looking around and trying to think what I wanted to do, and in the end I basically chose a set of 4 shelves that I have, one on top of each other or like above each other, and all of the things that are on it, because I recently sort of decluttered my room and went round and changed everything around, and now those 4 shelves are like my favourite thing in my room. So I decided to basically just do a quick sketch of those, and then the final one was just to draw someone's smile, and then which I did a quick sketch of again, and then obviously as we do at the end of each week, just marking off the ones that we did this week. Okay, so that was everything that we did for week 32. Let me know down below which your favourite was. But yeah, other than that, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!